In the frost-laden mists of the ancient north, where night stretches long and the aurora dances above silent snows, the story of Odin and Fenrir is whispered, a tale of prophecy, pride, betrayal, and the inexorable cycles of fate. It is a saga at the heart of Norse mythology, and within its verses lies not just the recounting of gods and monsters, but a meditation on the nature of fear, vengeance, and the eternal dance between order and chaos. Long before the world's end, the great and terrible Ragnarök, there were omens carried on the wind and written in the stars. The seers had seen it. The Allfather, Odin, would fall at the jaws of Fenrir, the monstrous wolf born of trickery and pain. And though the end was fated, its coming was shaped by the choices of gods and creatures alike. Fenrir's tale began not as a villain, but as a child. Born to Loki, the sly god of mischief, and Angerboda, a giantess from the shadowed wastes, Fenrir was a pup of extraordinary size and strength. The gods, wary of Loki's offspring, knowing already of the world serpent Jormungandr and the deathly Hel, decided to keep Fenrir close, raising him in the shining halls of Asgard. Yet, as the wolf grew, so too did unease among the gods. Each day, Fenrir's power multiplied. His body stretched toward the sun, his jaws yawned wider than any beast's, and his eyes shone with a wild, untamed intelligence. Only Tyr, the war god, had the courage to feed and befriend him. The others watched from afar, their hearts trembling with the cold breath of prophecy. Fear, it is said, can twist the kindest intentions. The gods, still haunted by the seer's warning, devised a plan to bind Fenrir, not with open hostility, but with cunning. They forged chains, first strong, then stronger, but Fenrir, with a careless flex, shattered them like brittle twigs. At last, they turned to the dwarves, master smiths of the deep earth, who wove Gleipnir, a ribbon forged from 6 impossible things: the sound of a cat's footfall, the beard of a woman, the roots of a mountain, the sinews of a bear, the breath of a fish, and the spittle of a bird. With guile, the gods approached Fenrir, suggesting the test as a mere game, a feat of strength to prove his might. But the wolf, wise to their fears, hesitated. He demanded a pledge of good faith, that one of their own place a hand within his jaws, as collateral for their honesty. Tyr, loyal even in the face of doom, offered his right hand. As the ribbon tightened and Fenrir found himself unable to break free, his trust was shattered. In a moment of pure rage and betrayal, he closed his jaws, sacrificing Tyr's hand to the price of their deceit. Betrayed and bound, Fenrir was imprisoned in a lonely cave. The gods drove a sword between his jaws, forcing them open, and from his slavering mouth spilled a river, Von, flowing with venom and curses. In the darkness, Fenrir waited, hatred boiling, his every heartbeat a drumbeat of vengeance. The gods believed they had averted disaster, but in that prison, they had forged their own doom. Odin, the Allfather, with his one-seeing eye, knew the cost of prophecy. He had sacrificed much, his eye for wisdom, years for knowledge, dignity for power. He drank from Mimir's well, gathering secrets of the cosmos and the runes, ever searching for a way to forestall his fate. He filled Valhalla with the bravest of warriors, the Einherjar, preparing for the last battle. Yet, for all his wisdom, he was ensnared in the web of fate, helpless to escape the destiny he had glimpsed. It is the paradox of prophecy. In striving to avert the foretold, the gods sealed it. Their fear of Fenrir, their treachery, only deepened the wolf's resentment. What might have been had they chosen trust over suspicion, had they raised Fenrir as kin, not prisoner? But in their fear, they sowed the seeds of their own destruction. The signs of Ragnarök came as icy harbingers. Fimbulwinter, 3 unending years of snow and wind, descended, freezing the hearts of men and gods. The sun and moon vanished from the heavens, devoured by wolves of the night. The earth itself trembled. Mountains split, rivers boiled. Deep in his cave, Fenrir's bonds weakened. The magic of Gleipnir fraying, and far away, Loki, himself punished and chained for his betrayals, broke free, rallying the giants, the dead, and all the creatures of chaos to his side. When at last the final day dawned, Fenrir burst his chains, shaking the world to its roots. No longer the bound and betrayed child, he was now a force of nature, his lower jaw scraping the earth, his upper jaw scraping the sky, fire burning in his eyes. Each step he took sent quakes through the land. He was vengeance incarnate, a living storm of teeth and fury. On the vast plain of Vigrid, the armies of the gods and their foes assembled. Odin, clad in golden armor, spear Gungnir in hand, rode his 8-legged steed Sleipnir to the front. His ravens, Hugin and Munin, circled above, and the Einherjar, proud and brave, stood by his side. Facing them were Loki, the giants, the dead, and at the fore, Fenrir, hulking and terrible, the darkness to Odin's light. As the armies clashed, the center of the storm was Odin and Fenrir. They faced one another amid chaos, and for a moment, the world held its breath. Odin gazed into Fenrir's eyes he remembered from a time before fear, before prophecy, when the wolf was but a child in Asgard. In those eyes, Odin saw not only hatred, but grief, the sorrow of betrayal, the agony of abandonment. With a cry, Odin hurled Gungnir, the unerring spear. But Fenrir, swift as the wind, dodged the blow and lunged. Sleipnir reared, but Fenrir's jaws closed around Odin, swallowing the Allfather whole. The gods wailed, the sky darkened, the earth shook. The prophecy at last was fulfilled. But the story does not end in that moment of darkness. Odin's death under Fenrir's fangs was not simply an end, but a beginning, an echo in the eternal cycle of destruction and renewal. In Norse belief, Ragnarök is not merely apocalypse, but transformation. The old world must die for the new to be born. Vidar, Odin's silent son, stepped from the ranks of the gods. He wore a shoe made from all the leftover scraps of leather, saved through ages for this moment. With strength born of vengeance and purpose, Vidar leapt upon Fenrir, forced open the wolf's jaws, and slew him, ending the beast's reign of terror. Yet even in victory, the cost was immense. The gods lay fallen, the world in ruins, yet from the ashes, life returned. New gods arose, the surviving children of the old, and the earth blossomed anew. Light returned to the heavens, and humankind, hidden and protected during the chaos, emerged to begin the cycle once more. The end was only the beginning, the wheel turning ever onward. What then is the meaning of Odin's death at Fenrir's jaws? It is more than a tale of gods and monsters, more than a warning of fate inescapable. It is a meditation on the consequences of fear and mistrust. Odin, for all his wisdom, was undone not by might, but by his own choices, his inability to trust, his readiness to betray, his obsession with prophecy. In seeking to control the future, he helped create the very doom he feared. Fenrir, too, is not merely a beast of destruction. He is the product of his circumstances. Born of chaos, raised in suspicion, shaped by betrayal. Had he been treated with kindness, could he have become something different? The story does not answer, but the question lingers, a challenge to all who listen. At its heart, the tale of Odin and Fenrir is a reflection on the cycles that shape all life. Order gives way to chaos, betrayal breeds vengeance, endings make possible new beginnings. It is a story as old as time, echoed in every age and every soul. In the modern world, the lessons remain. How often do we, but of fear, create the very dangers we most wish to avoid? How easily do suspicion and prejudice turn potential friends into foes? The Norse myths remind us that the seeds of our doom are often sown by our own hands, and that redemption, if it is to come, must begin with trust and understanding. Odin's wisdom was vast but incomplete. In the end, he could not break free from the web of fate he helped to weave. Fenrir's strength was terrible, but it was born of pain and abandonment. Their final battle is not just the clash of gods and monsters, but the collision of choices, consequences, and the unyielding march of time. As the snows recede and the world is born anew, we are left with the echoes of their struggle. A reminder that the cycles of creation and destruction, love and fear, hope and despair, are woven into the fabric of existence. The Allfather's fall is the world's renewal, The wolf's vengeance is humanity's warning. So let us remember the lesson, that in seeking to control what we fear, we may create it. That in denying trust, we may conjure treachery. And that in every ending, there is the seed of a new beginning. The saga of Odin and Fenrir endures, as all true stories do, not because it is ancient, but because its truth is eternal. Beneath the northern lights, in the silence after the storm, the tale is told once more. The Allfather falls, the wolf is slain, the world is remade. Time turns, and the story begins again, always new, always old, always waiting for those who would listen and learn.